The smoke rose high into the orange sky of 6. Captain Wu watched it from the ridge, his rifle resting against his shoulder. He had been walking for 3 hours through the dead forest, checking for enemy activity. The war between humans and had been going on for 12 years now. Wu had been fighting for 8 of those years. He was tired, not just in his body but in his soul. "Command, this is Recon 7, he spoke into his radio. "I see smoke at grid position 47, requesting permission to investigate." The radio crackled. "Recon 7, proceed with caution. Could be enemy survivors. Eliminate if hostile." Wu did not answer right away. He looked at the smoke again. It was thick and black. Something big had crashed there. He started walking toward it. They were not like humans. They were tall, with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. Their bodies were thin but strong. They had 4 fingers on each hand and their ears were long and pointed. When the war started, humans thought they could make peace, but they attacked first. They destroyed 3 human colonies in 1 week. After that, there was no more talk of peace. Wu had killed many. He did not enjoy it, but he did not feel sorry either. They were the enemy. They had killed his friends, his family, his home. War made things simple. You fight or you die. The crashed ship came into view as he walked down the hill. It was a transport, not a warship. The front was completely destroyed. Fire still burned in some parts. Bodies lay around the wreckage. Bodies. Adults mostly. Their pale blue skin was now gray with death. Wu moved slowly, his rifle ready. He checked each body, all dead. He counted 7. The transport could hold maybe 15. Where were the others? He walked around the ship looking for more survivors. The back section was mostly intact. The door had been forced open from the inside. Someone had escaped. He followed the tracks in the dirt. They led into the forest, then stopped. Whoever made them had collapsed. Wu found the body behind a large rock. A female, her arm twisted at a wrong angle. She was dead too, but her hand was reaching toward something. He looked closer and saw a small opening between the rocks. It was dark inside, but he could hear something. Breathing. Small, scared breathing. He knelt down and looked into the hole. 2 large eyes stared back at him. A child hiding in the darkness like a scared animal. For a long moment, Wu did not move. The child was small, maybe 5 or 6 years old in human age. Her skin was lighter than the adult's, almost white. Her dark eyes were filled with fear. She was shaking. Wu had never seen a child before. In all his years of fighting, he had only seen soldiers. He had never thought about their families, their children, their homes. They were just the enemy, just targets. But this was not a target. This was a little girl, alone and afraid, hiding from a monster, and the monster was him. "Command," he spoke into his radio. "I found the crash site. All passengers are dead, no survivors." "Confirmed, Recon 7. Return to base." Wu turned off his radio. He put down his rifle. Then he reached his hand into the hole, slowly, gently. "It is okay," he said softly. "I will not hurt you." The child did not understand his words, but she understood his voice. It was not angry. It was not scary. It was kind. She looked at his hand for a long time. Then slowly she reached out and touched it. Her fingers were cold, so cold. Wu felt something break inside his chest, something he thought the war had killed long ago. He pulled the child out of the hole and held her in his arms. She was so light, so fragile. She smelled like smoke and blood. "My name is Wu," he said. "What is your name?" The child looked at him with those big dark eyes. She opened her mouth and made a sound. "Li-Ra." "Lyra," Wu repeated. "That is a good name." Lyra started to cry. Not loudly but quietly, like she was afraid to make noise. Wu held her closer. He did not know what to do. He was a soldier, not a father. But right now, in this moment, he was the only thing standing between this child and death. He looked back at the crashed ship. He looked at the dead bodies. He looked at the female who had died reaching for her child. Was that her mother? Probably. She had died trying to save her daughter. Wu made a decision. He did not think about orders. He did not think about the war. He only thought about the small, cold body in his arms. "I will keep you safe," he whispered. "I promise." He wrapped Lyra in his jacket and started walking, not toward the base, toward the mountains. There was an old mining station there, abandoned years ago. He could hide there. He could figure out what to do next. The sun was setting when he reached the station. It was small but safe. He found some old supplies inside. Water, dried food, blankets. He made a small fire and fed Lyra some food. She ate slowly, watching him with careful eyes. That night Lyra slept next to the fire. Wu sat in the corner watching her. He thought about what he had done. He had lied to his command. He had hidden an enemy child. He had broken every rule he knew. But when he looked at Lyra's sleeping face, he felt no regret, only a strange, quiet peace. For the first time in 8 years, he felt like a human being again. The war had taken everything from him: his home, his family, his hope. But today, in the burning wreckage of an enemy ship, he had found something he thought was lost forever. He had found his heart. Outside, the wind blew cold through the mountains. The stars shone bright in the dark sky. Somewhere far away, the war continued. Ships fought in space. Soldiers died on distant planets. But here, in this small, forgotten place, a human and a child slept side by side. And tomorrow, everything would change. 3 weeks passed in the old mining station. Wu learned many things about Lyra during that time. He learned that she liked to watch the sunrise. He learned that she was afraid of loud noises. He learned that she laughed when he made funny faces, even though she did not understand his jokes. Communication was hard at first. Lyra spoke only and Wu knew only a few words of her language, but children learn fast and Lyra was smart. Within 2 weeks she could say simple things in human language: water, food, sleep, Wu. She called him Wu, not father or sir or soldier, just his name. And every time she said it, Wu felt warmth in his chest. He taught her other things too. He showed her how to start a fire safely. He showed her how to find clean water. He showed her which plants were good to eat and which ones were poison. Lyra followed him everywhere, watching everything with curious eyes. At night they sat by the fire and talked. Wu would point at things and say their names: fire, moon, star, hand, eye, heart. Lyra would repeat the words, her accent strange but clear. Then she would teach him words in return. She said, pointing at the moon. She said, pointing at the stars. Soma, she said, touching her chest where her heart was. Wu wrote down every word. He wanted to understand her. He wanted her to feel safe, to feel like she was not alone. But the outside world did not forget about them. On the 23rd day, Wu heard the sound of engines. He grabbed Lyra and hid her in the back room of the station. Then he went outside, his heart beating fast. A military vehicle stopped in front of the station. 3 soldiers stepped out. Wu knew them all. Sergeant Dongha, a big man with a loud voice. Private, the only woman in their squad, quiet but deadly with a sniper rifle. And Corporal Min, the youngest, always smiling, always joking. They were his team, his family in this war. "Captain," Dongha said, his face serious, "you have been missing for 23 days. Command thinks you are dead." Wu stood straight. "I had a situation. I could not contact base." "What situation?" asked. Her sharp eyes looked past him toward the station. Wu did not answer. Min walked toward the door, curious as always. Before Wu could stop him, the young soldier was inside. A moment of silence, then Min's voice came from inside. "Captain, what is this?" Wu closed his eyes. It was over. There was no point in lying anymore. He walked inside, his team following him. Lyra was standing in the corner, her eyes wide with fear. She looked so small, so helpless. When she saw the other soldiers, she started to cry. "Wu," she called out, reaching for him. "Wu." Wu went to her and picked her up. He held her against his chest, feeling her small heart beat fast with fear. "This is Lyra," he said, facing his team. "I found her in the crashed transport. She was the only survivor." Dongha's face turned red with anger. "She is the enemy. You should have killed her." "She is a child," Wu shouted back. "Look at her, she is just a child." "She is. Her people killed our families. They destroyed our homes." "And we did the same to them," Wu said. "That is what war is, but she had no part in it. She did not choose to be born, she did not choose this war." The room went quiet. Dongha breathed hard, his hands in fists, watched with cold eyes. Min just stared at Lyra, his young face confused. Spoke first. Her voice was calm like always. "What do you plan to do with her, Captain?" Wu looked at Lyra. She had stopped crying. She was looking up at him with complete trust, trust that he would protect her, trust that he would not let her die. "I do not know," he admitted, "but I cannot kill her. I cannot hand her over to command. They will put her in a prison. They will study her like an animal. I cannot let that happen." "You are asking us to lie for you," said. "You are asking us to hide an enemy child. If command finds out, we will all be punished, maybe killed." "I am not asking you anything," Wu said. "You can report me. You can turn me in. I will not stop you, but I will not leave her. I made a promise." Another long silence. Lyra buried her face in Wu's chest. She was trembling. Dongha turned away, his jaw tight. He walked to the door and stopped. For a moment, Wu thought he would leave and call command, but then the big man spoke. "I had a daughter once before the came. She was about that age when she died." He did not turn around. His voice was rough with old pain. "I have hated the everyday since then, every single day, but looking at that child, she reminds me of my girl, the same fear in her eyes, the same need for protection." He finally turned. His eyes were wet. "I will not report you, Captain, but if this goes wrong, I will blame everything on you." Nodded slowly. "I agree. I did not see anything here. I do not know anything." Min smiled, though it was a sad smile. "I always wanted a little sister, even if she is blue." Wu felt something release in his chest. Relief, maybe, or gratitude. He did not have words for it. "Thank you," he said, "all of you." Dongha walked to the supplies they had brought. He pulled out extra food, medicine, and clothes. "We brought these for you. We will tell command we found evidence you are alive and tracking enemy activity in the mountains. That will buy you some time. A few months, maybe." "After that," Wu asked. "After that, we figure something out, together." For the next 3 months, the squad helped Wu in secret. They brought supplies every 2 weeks. They gave false reports to command. They kept his location hidden. And slowly something changed, not just in Wu, but in all of them. Dongha stopped talking about revenge, started smiling sometimes. Min taught Lyra card games, laughing when she won by accident. Lyra grew stronger every day. She learned more words. She started to trust the other soldiers. She even gave them names. She called Dongha, which meant Big Mountain. She called, like the moon, because was quiet and beautiful. She called Min, which meant Laughing Bird. And they accepted those names. They wore them with pride. The war continued outside. Ships still fought. Soldiers still died. But inside their small circle, something beautiful was growing. A strange family built not on blood or duty, but on love. Wu watched his squad play with Lyra one evening. They were teaching her a human song, a simple song about stars. Her voice was high and clear, mixing with theirs. He thought about the war. He thought about all that he had killed. He wondered how many of them had children like Lyra. How many families had he destroyed without knowing? But he could not change the past. He could only change the future. And right now, the future was sitting by the fire, singing about stars, surrounded by soldiers who had found their hearts again. That was enough. For now, that was enough. High Commander stood on the bridge of her warship, looking at the stars. Her pale blue skin was marked with old scars, signs of battles she had survived. Her eyes, dark as the space outside, held no emotion. She had learned long ago to hide her feelings. A commander who showed weakness did not stay commander for long. The war had taken everything from her. Her mate had died in the first year of fighting. Her brother fell defending there. And her daughter, her little Lyra, had been lost 3 months ago when her transport crashed on a human-controlled planet. Had ordered search parties, she had sent scouts, but they found only wreckage and bodies. No survivors. Her daughter was dead just like everyone else she loved. Or so she thought. "Commander," an officer called from across the bridge. "We are receiving a strange transmission. It is coming from deep space, but the signal is weak." "What kind of transmission?" asked, not really interested. "It appears to be a distress signal, code, very old format, and there is something else, a voice message." Turned around slowly. "Play it." The bridge fell silent as the speakers crackled to life. Static filled the air, then cleared. And then a voice spoke. A small voice. A child's voice. "Mama, Mama, it is Lyra. I am okay. A human saved me. His name is Wu. He is nice. He takes care of me. Please come find me, Mama. I miss you." His heart stopped. That voice. She knew that voice. She had heard it every day for 6 years. She had sung to that voice at night. She had dried the tears of that voice when it was sad. Lyra, her Lyra, alive. "Commander," the officer asked carefully, "Commander, are you all right?" His hands were shaking. Her breath came in short, fast bursts. She grabbed the edge of her command chair to steady herself. "Trace the signal," she ordered, her voice rough. "Find where it came from." "Yes, Commander, it will take time. The signal bounced through many relays." "I do not care how long it takes. Find it now." While her officers worked, listened to the message again, and again, and again. Each time she heard new details. Her daughter's voice was different, stronger. She was speaking, but some of her words had a strange accent. Human influence. "A human saved me. His name is Wu. He is nice." Did not understand. Humans did not save, they killed them. They were monsters, cruel and heartless. Everyone knew this. The council taught it from birth. Humans were the enemy. Humans were evil. But her daughter was alive because of a human. 3 days passed before her officers found the source of the signal. It had been sent from a small planet called 6, deep in human territory. The planet was mostly abandoned, used only for mining operations years ago. The signal came from an old mining station in the northern mountains, the officer reported. "Our scouts report human military activity in the area, but they cannot get close without being detected." Studied the map of the planet. It was dangerous territory. If she sent a rescue team, they would likely be caught and killed. The humans would discover that Lyra was valuable, and they would use her as a weapon against the... No, she could not risk a small team. She needed something bigger, something that would make the humans afraid. "Prepare the fleet," she commanded. "All ships, we go to 6. Her second-in-command, a young male named, stepped forward with concern. "Commander, the full fleet. That is a declaration of war. The humans will respond with everything they have." "Good," said coldly. "Let them come." "But Commander, your daughter is there. If we attack..." "We will not attack, not yet." Walked to the communication panel. "First, I will send a message. I will let the humans know what I want." She activated the panel and began to speak. Her voice was broadcast on all frequencies, human and alike. Every ship in space, every base on every planet, every soldier and commander would hear her words. "This is High Commander of the Empire. I speak to the humans who hold my daughter. 3 months ago, my child was lost when her transport crashed on Planet 6. I believed her dead, but I have received a message. She is alive. She is being held by a human soldier named Wu." Paused. Her next words were difficult but necessary. "I do not know why this human saved my child. I do not understand his reasons, but I want to know. I am coming to 6 with my fleet. I am not coming to fight. I am coming to see my daughter, and I am coming to meet this human, the one called Wu." She took a deep breath. "To the human commanders, I give you my word. If you allow me to meet this soldier and see my daughter, there will be no battle, no blood. I will come alone to speak with him. But if you refuse, if you hide him from me, if you harm even one hair on my daughter's head, I will destroy your planet and everyone on it. This is not a threat. This is a promise." She ended the transmission. The bridge was silent. Everyone stared at her with shock. Spoke first. "Commander, the High Council will not approve of this. They will say you are weak, meeting with a human alone." "Let them say what they want," replied. "I am not doing this for the council. I am doing this for my daughter. And if it is a trap, if the humans plan to capture or kill you." Looked at the stars again. Somewhere out there her daughter was waiting, alive, safe, because of a human. "Then I will die knowing my daughter lived," she said quietly. "That is enough for me." The fleet moved through space like a storm. 100 warships, the largest force ever assembled. Human defense stations sent out alerts. Military bases prepared for battle. Fear spread through human space like fire. But did not attack. She simply waited at the edge of Six's system, and she repeated her message every hour. "Bring me the human. Let me see my daughter or face destruction." On 6, Wu heard the message like everyone else. He stood outside the mining station looking up at the sky. Somewhere up there 100 warships waited, all because of him, all because of one small act of kindness. Lyra stood next to him holding his hand. She had heard her mother's voice too. She was crying but smiling at the same time. "Mama is coming," she whispered. "Mama is coming to find me." Wu knelt down and looked into her eyes. "Yes, she is, and I will make sure you see her again, I promise." Dongha walked up behind them. His face was pale. "Captain, you heard the transmission. The commander wants to see you. If you do not go, they will destroy the planet." "I know," Wu said. "Command is ordering a full evacuation. They are also ordering your arrest for hiding an enemy alien." "I know that too. So what will you do?" Wu stood up. He looked at his squad. Dongha men, they had risked everything for him. They had become family. "I will surrender," he said calmly. "I will go to the border station and turn myself in. Then I will ask to meet the commander." "They will kill you," said quietly. "Maybe," Wu admitted. "But if I do not go, they will kill everyone else. Millions of people. I cannot let that happen." He picked up Lyra and held her close. She wrapped her arms around his neck. "Do not be afraid," he whispered to her. "I will take you to your mother. Everything will be okay." Lyra looked at him with those big, trusting eyes. "You will stay with me." Wu smiled sadly. "I will try. I will really try." Tomorrow he would walk into the hands of his enemy. Tomorrow everything would change again. But tonight he held a child who loved him, surrounded by friends who believed in him. And for one more night, that was enough. The border station stood at the edge of human territory, a gray metal building surrounded by guards and weapons. It was here that prisoners were exchanged, treaties discussed, and enemies faced each other across tables instead of battlefields. Today, it would host something that had never happened before. Wu walked through the main gate with Lyra at his side. His hands were not bound. His weapons had been taken, but they let him keep his uniform. The human commanders wanted him to look like a soldier, not a prisoner. They needed to show strength even now. General Park waited for him inside. He was an old man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been fighting since the beginning of the war. He had seen thousands of soldiers die under his command. And now he was looking at one soldier who might end it all. "Captain Wu," the general said slowly, "you have caused more problems than any soldier in history. You hid an enemy child. You lied to your command. You broke every rule we have." Wu stood straight. "Yes, sir, I did." And now, because of you, 100 warships are ready to destroy this planet. Yes, sir. The general walked closer. His eyes moved to Lyra, who was hiding behind Wu's leg. But also because of you, we might have a chance for peace. The commander asked for you by name. She did not ask for war. She did not demand our surrender. She only wants to see her daughter and meet the human who saved her. He paused, his old face thoughtful. In 50 years of war, no has ever spoken to us like this. No has ever shown interest in who we are, what we think, why we do what we do. Sir, what are you saying? Wu asked. The general sighed deeply. I am saying that maybe, just maybe, you did something right, even if you did it wrong. He turned to the window. Outside, they could see the landing pad where a shuttle would soon arrive. You will meet High Commander. You will return her daughter, and you will try to make her understand that not all humans are monsters. Can you do that, Captain? Wu looked down at Lyra. She was holding his hand tightly, her small fingers warm against his skin. I will try, sir. Good, because if you fail, we all die. 1 hour later, the shuttle landed. It was a sleek, silver ship, beautiful in a deadly way. The door opened and a single figure stepped out. High Commander walked across the landing pad alone. No guards, no weapons, no protection. Just her, dressed in simple gray clothes instead of her military uniform. She had promised to come alone, and she had kept her word. Wu watched her approach. She was tall, taller than he expected. Her blue skin was marked with scars, each one telling a story of battle. Her dark eyes scanned everything, missing nothing. She moved like a hunter, careful and controlled. But when she saw Lyra, everything changed. The coldness left her face. Her hard eyes softened. Her careful steps became faster. And then she was running toward her daughter with arms open wide. Lyra, Lyra. Lyra let go of Wu's hand and ran toward her mother. They met in the middle of the landing pad and fell to her knees, catching her daughter in a desperate embrace. My baby, my little star, you are alive, you are alive. Held Lyra like she was afraid she would disappear. Tears ran down her blue face. Her whole body shook with emotion. All her coldness, all her control, all her strength gone. She was not a commander anymore. She was just a mother holding her child. Wu watched them with a lump in his throat. He had seen many things in the war. Death, destruction, horror, but he had never seen this. He had never seen a cry. He had never seen them love. The human commanders watched too. General Park stood at the window, his face unreadable. The other officers whispered among themselves. They were seeing something impossible. They were seeing the enemy as people. After a long time, finally looked up. Her eyes found Wu. He expected anger. He expected hate. He expected her to see him as the enemy, as a monster who had stolen her child. But she did not look at him with hate. She looked at him with something else, something he could not name. Slowly, carefully stood up. She held Lyra's hand and walked toward Wu. When she was close enough to touch him, she stopped. For a moment they just looked at each other. Human and soldier and commander, two enemies meeting face to face for the first time. Then spoke. Her voice was rough, heavy with emotion. You are the one called Wu. Yes, he answered. You saved my daughter. Yes. Looked at Lyra, then back at him. My daughter speaks of you. She says you are kind. She says you protected her. She says you gave her food and warmth when she had nothing. Wu nodded slowly. She also says you have a sad heart, that you carry pain inside you, that you lost people you love just like I did. Wu felt his chest tighten. He did not answer. Stepped closer. Her dark eyes were deep and searching. I came here to see a monster. For 12 years I have believed all humans are evil, that you have no hearts, no souls, that you only know how to kill and destroy. She reached out and touched his face. Her fingers were cold but gentle. But you saved my daughter. You did not have to, you could have killed her, you could have let her die. Instead, you risked everything to protect her. Why? Wu thought about the question. It was the same question he had asked himself every day for 3 months. Because she was just a child, he said finally. Because when I looked at her, I did not see an enemy. I saw someone who needed help, someone who was scared and alone. I could not walk away from that. Even though she is, even though her people have killed your people. Yes, even then. Was quiet for a long moment. Then she did something that shocked everyone watching. She bowed her head. Among my people, when someone saves your child, you owe them a life debt. It is the highest honor we can give. It means your life is connected to theirs forever. She looked up at him. I give you this debt, Wu of the humans. For as long as I live, you are under my protection. No one will harm you. This I swear on my blood and my honor. The human commanders gasped. The officers watching from the shuttle stared in disbelief. This was unprecedented. A high commander swearing a life debt to an enemy soldier. Lyra pulled on her mother's sleeve. Mama, can Wu stay with us? Looked at her daughter with soft eyes. What do you mean, little star? He is my friend. I do not want him to go away. Can he stay? Wu knelt down next to Lyra. I have to stay with my people, little one, just like you have to stay with yours. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. But I will miss you. I will miss you too. Wu pulled something from his pocket. It was a small stone, smooth and round, from the mountains near the mining station. Keep this. Whenever you hold it, remember that somewhere I am thinking of you. Lyra took the stone and held it to her heart. Then she hugged him one last time. Watched them with an expression that was hard to read. Pain, maybe, or hope, or both. Human, she said to Wu, I came here expecting war. I came here expecting to hate you. Instead, I find this. She gestured at the scene around them. A human and child, embracing like family. Perhaps there is something about your kind that I do not understand. Perhaps this war has blinded us all. General Park stepped forward. His voice was careful but steady. High Commander, you speak of blindness. We have been blind too. For 12 years we have seen only enemies. But today we see something different. We see a mother. We see love. He looked at Wu. This soldier broke our rules, but he also showed us something we forgot. He showed us that mercy is not weakness, that compassion can exist, even in war. Nodded slowly. Then perhaps it is time we talk, not as enemies but as people. For the first time in 12 years, humans sat down together, not to discuss surrender or terms of war, but to talk, to understand, to begin something new. And at the center of it all stood Wu, a simple soldier who had saved a child. He did not know what the future held. He did not know if peace was possible, but he knew one thing for certain. He had done the right thing. And that was enough. The peace talks lasted for 7 days. 7 long days of discussions, arguments, and slowly growing understanding. Wu was not part of the talks. He was just a captain, not a diplomat. But he was there, watching from the side, as history unfolded before him. On the 3rd day, High Commander asked to speak with him alone. They met in a small room with windows that looked out at the stars. Lyra was sleeping in the next room, tired from the long days. Sat across from him, her dark eyes studying his face. She had not worn her military uniform since arriving. She said it reminded her too much of war. I have a question, she said, one I have thought about for many days. Wu nodded. Ask. When you found my daughter in that wreckage, you had a choice. You could have walked away. You could have followed orders. No one would have known. Why did you choose differently? It was the same question she had asked before, but this time Wu felt she wanted a deeper answer. He looked out the window at the distant stars. Somewhere out there were planets he had never seen, civilizations he would never know, and somewhere there were other soldiers making choices, just like he had made. I was tired, he said finally. Tired of fighting, tired of killing, tired of seeing death everywhere I looked. When I found Lyra, something inside me broke, or maybe something healed. I do not know which. He turned to face. For 8 years I told myself that we're monsters. It made killing easier. It helped me sleep at night. But when I saw your daughter crying and alone, I could not lie to myself anymore. She was not a monster. She was just a child. And I realized that maybe all of us human and are just children pretending to be strong. Was silent for a long time. When she spoke, her voice was soft. Among my people we have a saying, the warrior who cannot love has already lost. For many years I forgot this. I let hate fill my heart. I told myself it was strength, but it was weakness. The worst kind of weakness. She stood and walked to the window. When I heard my daughter's voice in that message, calling for me, telling me about the human who saved her, I felt something I had not felt in years. Hope. Strange, confusing hope. How could a human, our enemy, show such kindness? It did not fit with anything I believed. Maybe your beliefs were wrong, Wu said gently. Maybe mine were too. Turned to him with something that might have been a smile. Yes, maybe they were. The peace talks continued. There were difficulties. Some human commanders did not want peace. Some leaders called a traitor. Old wounds do not heal quickly, and 12 years of war left many scars. But in general, Park kept talking. They found things in common. Both had lost families. Both were tired of war. Both wanted their children to live in a better world. On the 7th day, they signed the first agreement. It was not peace, not yet, but it was a beginning. A promise to stop fighting and start listening. A promise to exchange prisoners peacefully. A promise to try. When the signing was complete, found Wu in the corridor. Lyra was with her, holding her mother's hand. It is time for us to leave, said. My fleet is returning home, and I am taking my daughter with me. Wu felt a sharp pain in his chest. He had known this moment would come, but knowing did not make it easier. Lyra ran to him and wrapped her arms around his waist. She was crying quietly. I do not want to say goodbye, she whispered. Wu knelt down and held her close. This is not goodbye, little one. This is just see you later. The universe is big, but not that big. We will meet again. Promise. I promise. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small data chip. On it was a recorded message, plus images and videos from their time together at the mining station. This is for you, he said. When you miss me, you can watch it, and remember that somewhere I am thinking of you. Lyra took the chip and held it tight. Then she kissed his cheek, her tears wet against his skin. Watched them with soft eyes. When Lyra finally let go, the commander stepped forward. Captain Wu, in all my years I have met many soldiers, brave ones, smart ones, cruel ones, but I have never met one like you. You changed my daughter's life. You changed my life. You may have changed the future of our two peoples. She placed her hand over her heart, a gesture of deep respect. I owe you a life debt, but more than that I call you friend. Among my people this is the highest honor. We do not give friendship easily, but once given, it lasts forever. Wu placed his hand over his own heart, copying her gesture. I am honored, Commander. I hope that one day our peoples will be friends too. Perhaps they will, said. Perhaps this is how it begins. Not with treaties and agreements, but with moments like this, with two people choosing kindness over hate. She took Lyra's hand and walked toward the landing pad. At the door, she stopped and looked back. When my people tell the story of this war, they will talk about battles and commanders and politics, but they should talk about you, about a human soldier who saw an enemy child and chose to save her. That is the story that matters. That is the story that will change everything. She left, the shuttle door closed, the engines roared to life. And then she was gone, flying back to the stars, taking Lyra with her. Wu stood at the window and watched until the shuttle was just a tiny point of light in the dark sky. Then that light disappeared too, joining the millions of other stars. Dongha appeared beside him. The big man put a hand on his shoulder. "You did good, Captain, real good." And Min joined them. They stood together watching the stars, saying nothing. There was nothing to say. They all understood. The war was not over. Peace would take years, maybe decades. There would be setbacks and failures and moments of despair. But something had changed. Something fundamental. The wall between humans had cracked. Light was coming through. 3 months later, Wu received a message. It was from Lyra. "Dear Wu, I am home now. My mother says I am a hero because I helped make peace. But I think you are the real hero. You saved me when you did not have to. You loved me when you did not have to. You taught me that humans are not scary. Now I teach other children the same thing. They like the songs you showed me. They like the stories about Earth. They want to know more about humans. Maybe one day there will be no more fear. Maybe one day humans will be friends like you and me. I miss you every day, but I know we will see each other again. You promised, and you never break your promises. Love, Lyra." Wu read the message 3 times. Then he sat down and wrote a reply. "Dear Lyra, I miss you too, every day, but I am so proud of you. You are teaching people something important, that enemies can become friends, that hate can turn to love, that one small act of kindness can change the whole universe. Keep teaching, little star. And know that wherever you are, I am thinking of you, always. Your friend forever, Wu." He sent the message and looked out the window. The sun was rising over 6, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. It was beautiful, it was peaceful, it was hope. In the end, the galaxy remembered this story not as a war story, but as a love story. A story about a soldier and a child. A story about enemies becoming family. A story about the power of compassion to change everything. And when people asked Wu how it all started, how peace finally came after so many years of war, he always gave the same answer. It started with a choice. A simple choice to see the enemy as a person, to choose kindness when hate was easier. That is all. That is everything. And he was right. That is everything.